Hello, and this is Typical Argonian. This is my review of the Codex Chaos Space Marines, and before I start it, I'd like to say a few things. First of all, I know I haven't posted a few videos for a while. That's because I've been ill, and I still am, but I thought before it gets old school, I may as well do my review of this Codex. Second of all, yes, I know it's like 3 weeks late before anything else comes out, but that's because the first week it came out, I had to wait for the other week because they forgot me order, so apologies for that, but it's alright, at least I've got it, I'm happy with that. Second of all, I had it for another week and I was testing it out for like one battle, which I lost, but that's assuming because I had no idea what to give anything. Then after that, well, it's the third week, isn't it? So here's me playing with this Codex from now on. Right, so this is my review. I will be splitting this into two halves. First half will be, sorry, saliva. I had to swallow it. The first half will be rules, and this is the first half. The second half will be background and the fluff. So, as I see, front cover, it's all bumpy here. 30 quid. I'm not happy with that price. I doubt anybody else is, but I didn't come here to rant about Games Workshop. So anyway, I haven't had a look through. Well, I have had a thorough look through, but it's all just stuff. This is just the background section. I can't really show that much just for copyright infringement and all that. And we all know what Games Workshop's like with copyright. I'll be saying more of the fluff in the second half of, well, in another video. And actually, the Abyssal Crusade, that's a nice bit of new background I like. I like this bit because I've always liked timelines where it gives you short, snappy glimpses. Anyway, that's for another time. This is the forces. Right. First of all, as we all know, this is the general rules section. I assume this is a personal table for Chaos Lords and Warp Smiths and Sorcerers and Apostles everywhere, and Demon Princes. But it's just, I think this is going to be general in every rulebook. Now we're going to see one of these for each race. Can't really describe, but my opinion is it's good, and it could, if you've made a list to design to be very aggressive, then go for it. There is around about. There's a lot of things that are good with this, but you'd have to not forget to do your warlord traits. Second of all, Champion of Chaos, killing other champions and getting rewards. I like this because this is, quite fluffy really, because it's just like, he kills someone, he gains a gift, all in the space of a battle. It's quite nice, I enjoy that. Warlord traits, but also, where is it? Doesn't have eternal veterans of the old, what? No, veterans of the what's it called? Veterans of the Long War. Sorry, veterans of the Long War, and it says, when it says preferred enemy or hatred. Space Marines, the category is Space Marines, comprises of all Imperial Space Marines, no Chaos. So basically any Imperial Space Marine or Loyalist Space Marine you can think of, yeah, they all hate them. Boon table, I absolutely love it. I think one of my favourites is Crystalline Body, which is +1 toughness, and Bloated. There was another one. Oh yes, Life Taker's nice, which is basically champion melee attacks have the instant death special rule. So if you suffer an unsafe wound, it's instant death. Yes, Gunmorph. Imagine that, you've got a plasma pistol, you kill a champion, or like a sergeant, Space Marine sergeant. Your plasma pistol is now strength 8 AP2. I think that's brilliant. When it comes to spawn hood, if you've got a lord and he turns into a spawn, obviously that's never good. Demonic princes. It's a 2-edged blade. Yes, you get a demon prince who's like a monstrous creature and it goes around saying, "Yeah, I'm so awesome." But then again, it's the bare bones. It's like nothing up. You don't give it upgrades. All it gets from the previous life, as in before it was turned into a demon prince, is that it's got the same mark of chaos and it retains its warlord trait. So apart from that, they're alright. Demon weapons, absolutely love them. They're still the same, but I quite enjoy them. Marks of chaos, I enjoy these as well. Singe and Nurgle and Slash are all the same from the last Codex, but Khorne is different. Instead of giving it +1 attack or Furious Charge, now it gives us Rage and Counter Attack special rules. So for my Soulless Space Chaos Marines, which I've made my own warband, no, not warband, warband turning into Legion kind of thing, but I can imagine long arguments about that. But anyway, well, I can imagine me seeing a lot of Khorne in my army now. Then Nurgle or Singe. Chaos Lords, I like them. I like the stat line. And how the sorry. I like the stat line, and I like the how much upgrades you can give them. They're all nice. Sorcerers. Again, it depends on the list you're going to make. I'm talking from a competitive point of view. I know I said I play it for fun, but there's no buts. It's the majority of the internet, of the wargaming community on the internet, that enjoy, from what I've seen, competitive minds. They don't really watch much or listen to much of the fun, fluffy types. They always go for the hardcore because everyone wants to win, which I think is a bit of a shame. Because this game really, in a sense, is not designed for people exactly winning, more like telling a story, which I enjoy. I think that's what people forget. Well, apart from that, Demon Princes. Well, the stat line is much better, and what else is much to say? Demon Princes. Well, sorry, I'm just trying to get my head. They're good. I can see myself taken multiple times, at least one. The weapon skill is, everything's brilliant. The only thing that really annoys is that they don't have Eternal Warrior, which they used to have. So they can be instant death by Vindicator Shell. So I think they should have gotten rid of the Toughness 5 and replaced it with Toughness 6, at least. Because now my undeniable, unkillable Demon Prince can now be instant death by 1 shell, which I think is a bit dodgy, considering the fact Demon Princes, or like in Dawn of War 2, can survive and exterminate us. I think it's a bit off. Warpsmith's one of the new HQs. Absolutely adore these. One of my favourite HQs now. Absolutely adore them. I like Tech Marines from the Space Marine Codex. We get our own. And it's brilliant. The stat line isn't the best. We know it's not for combat, but it does hold itself because of its war gear. It gives us a well, it gives us 2 attacks, and then the Mecha Tendrils gives us a further 2 attacks. Imagine going on the charge with 5 attacks. Okay, strength 4, but it's power axe, and if we don't like it, we can change it for something better in the war gear armory. The rules are like these are just like bonuses in my opinion, but very good bonuses nevertheless. The cursing one, I can see that happening more than repairing, because to repair you've got to be inside the vehicle, so, and you need an 18-inch range for the cursing, so I curse you. Yeah, I can see that happening more. Shattered defences, that's a good one. I can automatically see anybody who's trying to get a cover save from barrage fire, or like, I don't know, you have a squad of devastators and they're in the corner and you just can't seem to get them out. Shattered defences. That 4+, Ruin is now 5+. He's not going to like that for long. And he's certainly not going to get his saves. But I think one of the first things on my list is one of these guys. Absolutely love the model, love the rules, just everything. Dark Apostles. Well, I really have to talk about competitive aspect to these guys, because they're quite good with Chaos Marines, but the speciality is definitely with cultists, is my opinion. The stat line's great. What I don't like is that it doesn't give us, since it says in the background section, his weapon here is basically a corrupted, a defiled Crozius Arcanum, I can't say it, Arcanum, but it doesn't give us an Arcanum, it gives us a power maul. Alright, hang on, power maul, I didn't see that. I'll have to see what power mauls do. So, Sigil of Corruption, Zealot, which is quite a good one, I like that. Beseech, which is basically after deployment. Basically, if he's in a unit, and anything with Champion of the Dark Gods, including himself, Champion of Chaos, kills another champion, and he doesn't like the result he gets to reroll. Bammy, and Demon Gouge, which, that's the main rule to say, that is the main rule for why it goes with cultists. So those leadership, I don't know, 7, 6 cultists are now, well, leadership 10. 3+ save, but if there's a comparison between these two, my opinion, I'd always go for that, because I can see myself cultists, but I just cannot get my head around never using one of these with a Lord. That's my opinion. Chaos Space Marines, well, they're exactly the same as before, except the more generalised for the Chaos Space Marines to be like nearly Space Marines, except with the Champion of Chaos rules and bolt pistol and close combat weapon the same, with Veterans of the Long War. And bikers probably have gotten better, but I don't see a difference, because I realise people say that bikers have gotten better, but I don't really. I think they stay the same, because it says in the rulebook that you had to use, well, in the FAQ even, you had to use the toughness in brackets, so they were exactly the same, and people are building up all this hype of toughness 6 bikers, but if you actually gave it reading the old Codex, you could have done that still. So I honestly don't. I think the only thing it's getting so much hype for is because of the Champion of Chaos rule. Cultists, I have to check this. Right, yeah, the leadership 7. They're slightly, they're, in my opinion, I can see competitive lists just getting loads of these, but they're mainly just, well, a mix of orc and guardsmen. They've got a save of an orc. You can put them into 30-man squads, yet they've got the ballistic skill of a guardsman and the strength and toughness of a guardsman with the guns of a guardsman. So basically, all guardsmen have are a better save compared to these guys and can be in platoons. Boom boom. We are in 30-man blobs like orcs, and we have bullets, which in my opinion are better. Because, you know, bullets or lasers. Bullets or lasers, you know, bullets. Possessed, I feel they've gotten better, in my opinion. The chart here is more stronger, in my opinion. AP3 weapons, +1, or you can have +1 in attack and initiative, or you can re-rune, or you fail to rune rolls. Personally, I'd be hoping to get a 1 or a 2 all the time, because that means I have double the chance of getting the rolls I want. They're already strength 5, which is very good. I think what would make these great is if they have jump packs, but I'll check that in the Codex entry. Terminators, well, the same as before. Basically, same as before. 2 attacks each. Champion of Chaos. I like them because I'm a fan of Terminators. And that's all I can really say. I can see myself having a retinue of Terminators with a Lord, or either a retinue of Chosen with a Lord. And these spawn, I think these have got the biggest boost from last edition to this edition. Mainly because the main thing that made them so pointless of slow and purposeful is now gone. We now have instead very bulky to replace that, which I don't think anyone's really bothered about. They're now 12 inches. They're under attacks, but they also get mutation every time they're in combat, which is subcutaneous armor, which get an armor save 4+, or rolls 2d6 and picks the highest, or toxic hemorrhage, which is basically 4+ poisoned. So in my opinion, these have got the best boost since last edition, and they're absolutely, I'd say I'd take some in my army when I want to. Obliterators and mutilators. Obliterators are the same. They've got a little nerfed, which was basically, instead of in the last edition you could go plasma cannons away and just fire plasma cannons into the foe. Now, if you do that, you've got to fire a different weapon in the next phase. So they got a little nerfed, but if anybody still wants to use an obliterator army, I think it's still able to do. It all depends on the situation you're in on the table. Mutilators, these are the ones people have been like nagging. I can't really say anything else, but people just don't seem to like them, and I can see why, for competitive reasons, but I'm just thinking, if you're playing a narrative game, they'll be brilliant, because just in, like, I don't know, remember there was a battle mission for the Tyranids where you're where you're outnumbered, you're in the middle of the board and the swarm's coming from all corners of the table. These would be brilliant in these situations, because if you can imagine the table, if you can imagine the battle happening, you can see them just like doing something like Gandalf shouting, "You shall not pass." The Hormigans coming at them, and then these guys just cutting them down with lightning claws, power axes, power swords, and all that. So I think that, or if you're fighting a tank-heavy army with not much like infantry in, those would be quite canny and good. Right, so these are elites now. All the specified god troops are now elites. My opinion is I'm never going to take on berserkers. I can see why people will, but I personally rather spend my elites on something else. Thousand Suns, both are exactly the same. I hope these get plastic kit, because I absolutely love the models, just there was less of them and I wanted a 10-man squad. Plague Marines, people say these have got worse, and Nurgle in general has gotten worse. Well, I'd say they're still the same, but they got Plague Knife, which means anything to wound is on a 4+, which is great against monstrous creatures. If you survive the first onslaught, you just poison them to death. Obviously, they get their arm saves, but how many arm saves can they take before the thing dies? Noise Marines, I'm not sure. They've got bolt guns and all that. I think I can see myself taking a few Noise Marines just for fun though. Or if I was going for a really hardcore competitive list, I'd have a minimum unit of this with a HQ of Slanesh, just to give the whole ideology. No, just to give it like a small unit which can go run into cover, take the objective, and just blast everything that gets close. Raptors and Warp Talons. With me, they're both kind of the same. I'm not saying that, but it's just like I like them both equally. I like Raptors now because they get like crazy amount of attacks if you give them Mark of Khorne, and you can give them specialised weapons such as like plasma guns and plasma pistols. But I like these because you can deep strike them, everything gets blinded by them, and then after that they can go for a good round of assaulting. So these, if you're making a competitive list, go with whichever one that will work for your army or which one you want to use, because in my opinion they're both the same. They're just it honestly depends on the not location, on the situation you're in on the table. Such as lots of tanks, go with them, and I probably will get myself a 10-man unit of Raptors because I love the models. I love the jetpacks now, just so pre-heresy, so cool. Warp Talons, I like them, but I'd probably see myself in like middle of next year getting them, cause I'd say more those against tanks, more those against like Tyranids and Orcs. I know they're like the big horde armies with lots of attacks, but if you get in there first, they won't have that vast blob of Hormigons. Let's just say. Forge Fiends and Mauler Fiends. Well, I like them. I like Demon Engines, and I like what they've done here. Honestly, competitive-wise, I can already see people going for 3 Forge Fiends and making Psy Forge Fiend rifle lists, where it has 3 Forge Fiends with Hades autocannons with ectoplasma cannons or plasma cannons, whatever they have. And then they'll just be like, it will be the same tactic as Psy rifle dreads. Will just be in a line, they'll look round, fire, and just fire those cannons away. I can already see that. Mauler Fiends, I like them. They move 12 inches, and they're not slowed by difficult terrain, even when charging. And they add +1 to their armor penetration against buildings. So I can see myself taking them, but I think with those I'm going to magnetise a lot. Helldrakes. People complain about them not being that good. Competitive-wise, they're not. But I can see myself taking one because it's a dragon. And I like dragons. I like dragons a lot, as I've expressed on my other video about rumours. And the Vector Strike is at strength 7, which I can see already. I can just already see the Helldrake swooping down and cutting Carnifex in half. And it's got a free Hades autocannon, which I don't think I'd ever trade for a Solar Blaze weapon. And then the Defiler. Now these, have gotten better but more expensive, so I can't. I mean, I've got 3 of them, so I could do 3 defilers lists again, but that's going to be very expensive. They're the same, but they've got Demon Forge, which is a great, really good thing for them. It gives them a massive boost on 1 turn. It will not die. I love that rule. It's just like, yeah, come at me, bro. And here's the battle tanks, which is basically the same as Space Marine tanks, so you can make your own decisions. I personally hope to make a different kit and make this as a new Vindicator kit, because I love this bit here for the Vindicator shell cannon. I like that a lot. Rhino. Taxis as usual, they are taxis, and Predators are your tanks. It depends what you give them. I mean, I use them a few times. I find them quite good fun to play around with. Land Raiders, I can already see Demonic Possession, 4 Terminators and a Lord. Just how I see things. And Hellbrutes. Before we move on to special characters, Hellbrutes. Now, we all know these have replaced the what would you call them? These have replaced the Dreadnoughts, but which was a bit of a downer, because I really like Dreadnoughts. I really do. Dreadnoughts are one of my most favourite things about Chaos, and then they replaced it with this. But in a sense, it is a demonically possessed Dreadnought with a guy trapped inside it, insane. So I guess I can abide by my little grudge and just say, yes, I like that, and I love the model. Hope to get Dark Vengeance at Christmas. Well, what shall we say? Front side, well, yeah, as you can see. It's the same as Dreadnought, but as people say, Dreadnoughts are weak. I don't think so. I reckon they're the same, or with the whole point system, even a little bit stronger, because what would have usually been a glance to, I can't move or shoot, now just takes a hull point, but it'll be exactly the same next turn, so I think it's went better. And fire, and the crazed result, even better than it was before. It's less random, and it's basically just something to fire the demon, well, to fire the Hellbrute up. It's great at the start of, if each time a Hellbrute takes a glancing or penetrating hit, but isn't destroyed, place a craze marker by the model at the start of each movement phase. Hang on. Right, basically, if it gets a glance, you roll on the crazed. Glance or a penetrate, but still survives, you roll it on the table in your movement phase at the start. At the start of each movement phase of your movement phase, right? So it really just pumps it up, really. Better than the Despoiler. Well, personally, I think he's got worse. I know people didn't like him in the old edition, but I personally loved him. He was just like one of those things which was, come at me bro, slice, grabs them, just handkerchief slaps everyone, because it was D6 plus 4, was it, attacks? Yep. So it was D6 plus 4 attacks, and sorry, it just wrecked the place. It really did. It was absolutely one of the best things. You just have him with 4 Terminators of Slanesh with pairs of lightning claws and just wreck the place. Now, he's the only Eternal Warrior character, and his stat line's the same, and he's still got the 4+ vulnerable save, but the artifacts or his weapons have got worse. You can either have a weapon that gives you +1 strength and is AP2, which is a melee demon weapon and it's specialist. Or you can have it's the Talon of Horus, which is was good, gives them double strength, but if you're fighting Blood Angels and you activate it, now this is interesting because I can see many arguments happening. Some people will argue that if you put a Baden on the table, all Blood Angels will have hatred against him. I disagree with this. Maybe because it says here that it gives Blood Angels have the hatred against a Baden. Therefore, in that case, bam. Sorry. Therefore, if they said that here, why didn't they put it in the special rules? Exactly. So I think it's every time the Talons is activated in combat, those Blood Angels in combat against them get the hatred roll. That's my way of interpreting it. But I think he's just been nerfed and he's not worth it unless you want a chosen heavy army. Blackheart, he's been given a new things. He's been given a few new things here and there. He's got better, I'll say. He has got better. But I don't have anything against him. I don't see myself using him. I think he's okay. He can hold himself out in the combat, but I just cannot see him doing anything that could change the game, really. But Khan, one of the biggest boosters in the game. Deny the witch rolls on a 2+. He also always hits on a 2+. Even if they would otherwise hit automatically. He also has an extra strength, so he becomes strength 6. And he becomes AP las cannon. And he has armor bane rule. And his stat line is really good, and he's just brilliant. He is essentially probably one of the best characters, and the only reason I would take him was to stick him in a 10-man unit of berserkers, and he won't hit his own guys now. And it's not a demon weapon, so he won't be hurting his guys at all. So that'll be a murder bane. Ahriman, he is the master psyker. I reckon if you wanted a psyker-based heavy army or psychic-powered heavy army, you'd go for him. Apart from that, he's good to buff up units. And that's it. I reckon I'd use him because I've got the model and it's really nice, and I like Ahriman. I do like him quite a bit. So, but on the competitive scale, I'd say give him a few psychers here and there. Make a list around psychic powers, and then you could be onto something. Typhus? Well, Typhus. Competitive wise, you'll need to make a list around him because of his plague zombies rule, which basically makes all your cultists into zombies. Meh. Rawr. And just like eat. Yeah, and they can't have any like ranged weapons. I think Typhus is good. I've always liked Typhus. He's good. I like him. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I like him, but I think competitive wise, you'd have to make a list around him. Fun wise, just put him in and enjoy him seeing slaying carnifexes. Lucius the Eternal, I can see him already being good. I like his duelist pride rule. Basically, if your weapon skill, I don't know, what's the weapon skill of Hive Tyrant? 9 or something, isn't it? Or Swarm Lord 9. Okay, Lucius the Eternal has now 9 attacks. at initiative 6. That's brilliant, my opinion. I can already see him being guarded by, I don't know, some chosen, getting into combat with the enemy's Death Star unit, and just going, hey you, whack, you're gone, goodbye. But that's only in a challenge, so I can see like taking the head scenarios, like if you've got your own custom scenarios, or Slay the Warlord objectives which become a primary or whatever, I can already see him being taken as an auto choice. Fabius Bile, I reckons went really good. He's less random and he's more of Professor Frankenstein now. So, oh sorry, right, there we go. Yeah, his weapons have gotten better. He inflicts instant death with one of them, and the other one, he has Assault 3 and a Poison 2+ roll. His Enhanced Warriors, basically, you can give one Chaos Marine unit Enhanced Warriors, which gives them Fearless Special Roll and +1 Strength, so that'd be Strength 5. Space Chaos Marines, but if you can imagine with Mark of Khorne and probably Icon of Wrath, now that can easily become like a beastly unit. So I can auto see that really good. I can automatically see him being like your army's buffer for competitive wise. Obviously, if you want to play custom scenarios and watch you have it. And fun games, he's still quite good. Just like get him into challenges then, because he probably will be quite fun to play with. Weapons, well, weapons now. Plague Knife, which is just 4+ wounding. Flails, the Scourge is a good one. It's a flail that if you're in base contact you lose D3 attacks. Chain Axe isn't that good. I was hoping it could be better, to be fair. If it was AP3 it might have been better, to give it the difference between a Lightning Claw, because basically it's a Lightning Claw without the Shred Roll. Bale Flames combi bolters are exactly like twin linked bolters. Demolisher cannons are the same. Ectoplasma cannons are the same but with a shorter range. Hades autocannon are autocannons with 4 dice. And there's a Reaper autocannon which is the same as last edition. The Noise Marine sonic weapons are the same, except the single frequency is now strength 8. The Doom Siren is the same, and the Sonic Blaster is generally the same. Special issue war gear. Basically, it's everything that you saw in the other Codex, except Blight Grenades are both assault and defensive grenades. Mecha Tendrils +2 attacks, and Sigil of Corruption is exactly the same as an Iron Halo. That probably will be equipping a lot of 4+ invulnerable save then. Icons, which are different. It's not Icon of Khorne now, it's all the icons. Well, what can I say? Wrath gives you Furious Charge and rerolls charging results if you don't like them. Flame just basically marks Siege and they give them the Solar Blaze roll, which is canny. Despair just gives everyone fear. Excess, feel no pain. Vengeance, fearless. And that's it. So I can automatically see Wrath and Flame being the better ones. Chaos Rewards. Gift of Mutation allows you to roll on the boons at the start of the turn, which is alright. Combat Familiar is like a little gribbly thing that's okay, but only good against Xenos armies if you're playing competitive. The steeds, I can automatically see myself riding I can see me a lord riding a Juggernaut of Khorne, steeds Slanesh, and that's it. I can see people using these. Aura of Dark Glory is basically like a Terminator's invulnerable save. Flesh Metal is like fire armor. Improvised armor is like a t-shirt save from a orc. Power armor is a 3+ arm save. Terminator armor is the same as Space Marine. Combi Bolter is basically Twin Link Bolter now. Demonic Possession is the same as before, but on a roll of if there's any guys